Yeah, hey folks, this is Matthew with Riverponics. I'm going to follow up on the video I did last week, approximately 7 days ago, where I talked about how I took the cuttings from outdoors, my outdoor garden, and brought them indoors for cloning purposes. And now I have transplanted them. I'm going to go over that with you and show you all the different growing methods and techniques I'm using with Riverponics. This is the patented Brewer. This is where you would put all your nutrients, and this is what feeds the grow system. Okay, you can view other videos I have that kind of goes more into detail about that. But I want to give a shout out to Hidden Harvest grow lights. I just got 6 of them. I have 4 of them in this 4x4 tent combined with a T5 fluorescent. Give you a look here. So I got plenty of light in this grow tent. It's gonna be pretty cool. I just hooked these up yesterday. Just got them installed, so I'll be full spectrum absolutely in this grow tent. Plants are loving life. So I have in just this grow tent, I'm going to show you 2 other grow tents I have going on here in a minute. But this grow tent here, I have 3 different grow methods going on. And keep in mind, every grow method is self-watering. This whole system, Riverponics, is all about self-watering, having to do less work and enjoy your grow. Have fun with it. So this pot here, and these were all clones, and I just transplanted them. This here is my own soilless mix. I actually recycled this from outdoors. So I brought this soilless mix indoors and I'm recycling it. And I'm already getting blooms. And there's another one back there, soilless. Now this one here is soil, and that's also recycled from my outdoor garden. It's an aloe vera plant I've had in there for a while now, which is really rebounding because I had it kept in a closet and I forgot about it for 3 months. And I'm bringing it back to life. So it's doing well, actually really well. It's coming back around, bouncing back real nice. And then here, this is a jalapeno plant. It's got little jalapenos on there starting. There's one right there. There's a few of them on there. But this is grown in rock wool. Okay, now I put this plastic over here over the rock wool because I was getting algae growth. Because with this rock wool here, I stuck the cutting right in the rock wool and just let it start rooting, and I never moved this. So it's going to be a full-grown plant right in this rock wool. So it's definitely doing well, coming around. But in order to prime this rock wool, you have to initially water the top of it. So, and with the sunlight, it was getting algae growth on there. So easy fix is to put plastic over that. Bam, and there you go. Here's the other one here, another pepper plant, and it's in rock wool as well. So my patented brewer runs on 40 watts. All you have is the air pump there, and you have a submersible pump in the reservoir which pumps the fluid into the brewer. This is your airlift chamber, and you have a filter that's housed in there, and it dispenses out of the brewer with gravity out to the grow system. Then it circulates back through that pipe back into the reservoir. There's no glued fittings to anything, so everything is really user-friendly and easy to maintain. So this is where you literally put all your nutrients is inside of here. Like I said, you do have a filter that is removable, as well as this too. Everything is removable. This is the wand, my compost wand I call. So that is removable either. So there's no fixed fittings to anything. So that's how it's designed to make it very user-friendly. Now with the lights, the Hidden Harvest grow lights, these are LED full spectrum. And these are 36 watts a piece. And then I have the T5 high output fluorescent. So total watts, I'm running 464 watts in this 4x4 grow tent. Alright, these are my 2 other grow tents. Both grow tents are being fed off of one brewer. These are 2x4 tents. They got the grow channel in there for a 3-plant system. But with my situation, I am more of teaching people and showing all the different techniques, doing all the experimental stuff. So this is why I got a combination of things going on. So I'm here to show you and educate you and hopefully get you interested in Riverponics. So with this scenario, I have the Brewer here. This is my patented brewer once again. And I mentioned there's no glued fittings. So if you come here onto the back side, it's kind of hard to see because I'm up against the wall. But you'll notice there, that fitting there is a cross. So now I'm coming off of both directions with this tube feeding this grow tent. And if I get a good shot, that one's branching off and going in there and feeding this grow tent. Alright, then everything is closed loop. Here's the pipe that drains back to the reservoir. Nice steady flow. Likewise, there's the pipe there that comes back and drains in. Nice steady flow there. Okay? And this brewer, once again, even with this setup, is only running on 40 watts, so super efficient. Everything's the same concept. You're just feeding 2 different grow tents. So this grow tent here, I got the Hidden Harvest grow lights in here I just installed last night. Check them out. These are 36 watt a piece. So I got 72 watts feeding this here. You can see how beautiful my lettuce is. Really nice looking. And this is growing just strictly hydroponically with the lettuce. And when I do that, when I grow hydroponically, doing like leafy greens and stuff like this, I like to use orchard moss. Okay? And that's it right there. There's my net cup. I got this ready for demonstration purposes. I got my lettuce seeds I harvest every year. Sprinkle some in there. And so what I do is I will let that float like a bobber. Okay? It'll float like a bobber, and eventually the moss will soak up the water and nutrients, and it'll sit flat. And that's what you want to do. That's the key to this. You don't want to water it, because then you can saturate it too much and spoil the seeds. Alright? Now another technique you can do is with starter plants is you can take soil, and you want to use good potting soil, and use a wick. Okay? Now when I do these wicks, I'll stub it up in there, and then I'll put about an inch of soil, then I'll fold that wick over inside so it's laying horizontal, then I'll fill the rest up with soil, put my seeds in there. I will lightly water this, because what you ultimately want to do is count on that wick to do the watering for you, and you don't want your soil to get too saturated. Alright, so now once your plant gets developed and gets big, you know, depending on what you're growing, it's time to transplant it. Just take a pair of scissors and you cut that wick off at the base of the container, and then you can pop your soil right out of there and do your transplant. Now in this case, I'm doing collard greens and kale, and I may just leave these in here and let them see what happens. Just let them grow right in these little cups. Okay? So this gives you, it demonstrates for you more options of what you can do with Riverponics. Growing hydroponically, we've talked about how you can use soil, how you can use soilless mixes, and rock wool. Now you're growing hydroponically here. You can use orchard moss, or you can use starter plugs, whatever, for starting plants, but I like my orchard moss. And then you can do starter cups like this with a wick. Okay? Now another option here is using cylinders like this and going completely soilless and using those clay balls. Okay? Just just cover this real quick. Now this was a clone I took from outdoors, and you can see the roots starting to develop. I just transplanted this not that long ago. Get a good shot. They're starting to get a lot of hairs coming through there. I don't like to disturb things too much, you know, but it gives you an idea. And it's doing fine. It's growing roots. It's working. So that's that grow tent. Got the Hidden Harvest lights, full spectrum. Liking them a lot. They don't burn hot. They put out a nice full spectrum light, and they're super efficient. And that's the name of the game here when you're trying to grow indoors. Brewer, 40 watts, super efficient. Okay, now this here is the Mr. Hue. This is also an LED, Mr. Hue. And there again, it's another full spectrum light. And in this case, I am using soil in this grow pot. This is a 5-gallon grow bag. So I want to show you something here, and I want you to keep something in mind. So you can see that's how I wick up. I use a net cup. You see there's a divider in that channel in the center, okay? So on the other side of this grow channel, there's another net cup. So when you're doing 5 gallons or even like the 4-gallon square containers I offer, if you're going any smaller than that, I recommend only using 1 net cup. Because if you use 2, things can become too saturated. So in this case, using 5-gallon grow bag, I am using 2 net cups for wicking purposes. It does just fine. There's another case where I'm using the cylinder. And the last but not least is this right here. These are jalapeno starters, and get a close up there. That is a net cup in there. Okay, so I started them in the little net cups with moss, and now I just transplanted them to, now let me get this tape off, a bag of soil. And I put this plastic over here because this is, like I said, a study, right? So I'm using clear plastic. So my whole intention is to get this plant, you know, full grown and see, actually visualize what the roots do inside of a bag. So it's clear. So for now, I keep it covered up, and I can show you how this works. Maybe I got it all taped down, but there's a apologize. There's a net cup in there, okay? Yeah, let me take this off. There we go. There's a net cup right there, wicking up. All right, folks. Well, thanks for watching. I hope that was educational. And I hope that sparks your interest to look into Riverponics. And just keep in mind too that all these grow systems are expandable because there are no glued fittings. So there's a heck of a lot you can do with Riverponics and the flexibility it offers. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.